what's up?
You're late.
Yeah, I know. Some bootlegger tried to sell me Wedding Crashers too.
So what'd you do?
I snatched it and then I ran. You should see me, dog. It was awesome.
Green.
Yeah. So, what's on the agenda for this afternoon?
Producer Ralph Farquhar. He's responsible for situation comedies such as UPN's Moisha and The Parkers. Just to name a couple. More recently, co-executive producer on All of Us with Dwayne Martin and Lisa Ray.
Impressive, huh? Ralph Farquhar, huh?
Yes, actually, it's Ralph Farquhar, a.k.a. Ralph R. Farquhar, a.k.a. writer, a.k.a. executive producer.
All right. Executive producer, huh? Okay. Detective Green, this is Detective Summers. We're going to ask you a couple of questions. Just make sure that you answer them to the best of your knowledge. Agreed?
Okay, I'll try.
Well, Mr. Farquhar, let's start off by talking about your television career. We have here that you've either written or executive produced 14 television shows indefinitely. Is this correct?
I'm not sure.
One project includes Debbie Allen's Fame. Is that about right?
It was an hour-long show, and I wrote a script for them, a couple of scripts, actually.
Tell us your story and experience as Mr. Farquhar in his early years.
I was an unemployed actor back in the day when the only job you can get was slave number 2 or gangbanger number 3. So I thought, I came up with a novel idea. I would write myself a part.
And what part was that?
Any part. I was just going to write a part. I just wrote films, you know, spec scripts left and right. And one thing led to another, and I wound up as an assistant on Happy Days, writer's assistant, which I thought was a great job because I get to sit in the writer's room, get to see what's going on, and, you know, maybe I could, get in and maybe get a part. But quickly I realized that no one respects actors. And I have a lot of very good friends who are actors, but, and I saw it was a little bit more opportunity in terms of going into writing. That was the first time I got an understanding of, especially in sitcom, that all the executive producers and creators of shows were writers. So I, refocused my goals and decided to just go into writing and stick with it.
Now, after that, you not only went on to write, but you went on to be executive story editor and supervising producer on Fox's comedy Married with Children. Is this about right?
Yeah.
Married with Children?
Yeah.
You did Married with Children? You wrote for Married with Children? I love that show! Love and marriage, love and marriage. It's the...
Describe the events leading on to the desire for taking on more roles with Married with Children.
I got a phone call from Michael Moy, who's one of the co-creators of Married with Children, and said, I heard you're big and don't need anybody anymore. I said, well, I can't imagine where you heard that. And he invited me to come witness the shooting of a pilot he was doing, he and Ron Levitt, called Married with Children. So, I rolled over to the pilot, I saw it, I couldn't believe they were being allowed to do it. It was, at the time, it was, anti-everything. Certainly was the anti-sitcom. It was unlike Happy Days, where I had worked and gotten most of my sitcom experience. It was completely the opposite. So when he gave me a chance to, write on the show, I did a couple freelance scripts for them first. It was like, an unbelievable opportunity. I couldn't turn it down.
All shows that you have been associated with have been comedic. Is it a coincidence that you're involved with such funny shows, or do you specifically seek out these type of projects?
Well, actually, most of them have been comedic, but not all of them. South Central, which I did with Michael Whitehorn for Fox in the 90s, was a multi-camera drama that we were sort of experimenting with that format, which unfortunately did not take off, though it should have. Maya Campbell, Lorenz Tate, Tina Lifford. It's without question the best show I've been involved with. But other than that, Moesha, the Parkers, the Proud Family. So just in general, yeah, overwhelming majority of sitcoms, but we try to mix it up from time to time.
Our records indicate that you wrote the movie Crush Groove, and...
Hold on. You wrote Crush Groove?
Yeah, I wrote Crush Groove.
Crush Groove, Sheila E. Neal?
Yep.
That's my spit, fat boy.
This actually launched the film career for actor Blair Underwood.
Yeah.
With the plethora of rappers that are acting now, it's evident that you started the rappers turned actors trend.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Did you see a future for musicians in film when you wrote Crush Groove?
Well, actually, no. I was not, I didn't see it as something that was going to be a trend, but I recognized afterwards that that was the beginning, you know. In that particular movie, Run was, I thought, had a special talent, which I wish he had followed up with some more substantial work in terms of film, because I think he could have really done it up. But, you know, oddly enough, young LL Cool J is in there, and he goes on years later to have his own TV show and is doing all the films, big buff action heroes, a little skinny kid back then. It's sort of interesting to see it. It's a funny story with LL because I hired LL to write. He wrote all the rap lyrics, like for Blair Underwood's character. Those were lyrics written by LL.
Oh.
So, you know, after he turned him in, I said, okay, who do I talk to about paying you? He said, no, you don't have to pay me. I said, come on, LL, you get money for this. And I was sitting at a desk in front of a wall of Adidas tennis shoes, because Adidas had, you know, given a little sponsorship. So then LL goes, you know, rock me with a couple pair of Adidas. I said, no, man, you get money. He said, no, man, just rock me with a couple pair of Adidas. I said, okay, go and get it. It's like, I think I'm the only person that ever paid LL in tennis shoes.
Have you ever made a bad decision that you regret?
A long time ago, I was asked to executive produce Rock while it was still being formulated, and I turned it down because I didn't know who Charles Dutton was. So I certainly feel bad about that. I love that show, and I wish I had done it. You know, when I went to the shooting of the pilot, I was like, I had no idea they were going to do this. So I regret that.
Now, word on the street is that you announced a film called Boulevard. Is this film still a green light?
No, this film is in turnaround. New Line put it in turnaround. Shame on you, New Line. But we'll be setting it up soon. Elsewhere, we've got, you know, people like Rob Brown, The Game, attached to do it. So we're pretty confident it's going to happen.
Can you tell us a little bit about the film?
Well, yeah. The Boulevard is a script I wrote about the cruising scene on Crenshaw Boulevard. You know, I sort of call it my African American graffiti. You know, where we follow 6 young people one night on the boulevard. You know, the weekend before they graduate from high school, and each of them sort of faces a potentially life-altering situation. You know, so that's the hope. It's a fun, serious look at the coming-of-age story. Car culture has dominated an American screen, but we've never seen it from sort of an African-American point of view before.
What point are you at right now in your life?
I think I'm at the point now of involving myself only in projects that I'm really, really very interested in. I'm probably, you know, the big push is I'm looking to move in more into directing, which was the purpose of the deal I had with New Line in regards to the Boulevard. So that's, you know, the first goal is to get into directing. So that's the point I'm in.
One last question before we let you go, Mr. Farquhar. Can we expect more films from you in the future?
Well, certainly films is certainly a thing I'm looking to do. TV, I'm currently developing 2 pilots, one for Paramount called The ATL, set in Atlanta. Sort of a friends-like look at young people in the South. Another, I'm doing a half hour for NBC with Al Roker, who's also executive producer based on his family life. So, you know, who knows, next year this time, if either one of those shows make it, then you'll see more TV from me. So that's the goal at least. And obviously I'm doing, actually one of the things we didn't talk about is we sort of moved into this whole area of made-for-home video, because we have the Big Black Comedy Show. There was a film called Gas, which starred Fleck. which I found out the other day is one of the top 20 titles for 2005 made for home video, which is a pretty good accomplishment considering they didn't promote it at all. And it's doing real well.
Mr. Farquhar, thank you for coming. I have no further questions. You?
No, thank you for your time. That'll be all that's needed.
I can leave?
You may leave.
All right, and everything I said stays here, right?
We can't guarantee that everything will stay in this room, but we will do our best to keep it strictly confidential.
I just want y'all to know I know people.